Cable 8 News. The College Hill security cameras went live today.
Plus, we will hear what football coach Mike Leach has to say about National Signing Day.
Those stories and more tonight on Cable 8 News. Good evening, I'm Sadie Porter.
And I'm Nate Hansen. Thanks for joining us tonight.
Some of you may have noticed the new sign saying an area of College Hill is under 24-hour surveillance. These cameras are now live and can view Monroe, Colorado, and Ruby Streets. The 5 cameras surrounding Adams Mall are part of a federal grant to fund a research project by the WSU Criminal Justice Department. The project's purpose is to detect serious crimes in the area. The motion-censored cameras will be up for at least a year in order to determine their effectiveness in detecting and preventing crimes. They are not intended to uncover minor crimes such as MIPs. The cameras are also blocked from viewing second-story windows in order to maintain privacy.
Pullman City Council is working on a proposal to restrict parking near Lincoln Middle School. Pullman Mayor Glenn Johnson says cars are currently parked on both sides of the street, making it difficult for buses, ambulances, and fire trucks to navigate down the road. Many residents feel that parking on one side of the street will improve the situation, while others want parking in only a designated portion of Crestview Drive. The debate about the Crestview parking situation continues on, and a resolution will be drafted for the next City Council meeting. Coeur
d'Alene, Idaho is the recent target of a graffiti tagging spree. Officials say there have been 18 separate graffiti cases since December 1st in the downtown area. Crime Stoppers of the Inland Northwest is offering a cash reward for information about the culprit. The graffiti is mostly designs and scribbles, which investigators don't believe to be gang-related.
WSU alumni John Minch has been appointed to the new chairman and president of BP America Incorporated. Minch graduated from WSU in 1983 with a Bachelor's of Science in Mechanical Engineering and went on to begin his career with BP as a drilling engineer in the Gulf of Mexico.
When we come back, we'll check out what happened at yesterday's Well-Being Fair.
And hear about how WSU students are making a difference in the Pullman community. Stay tuned.
Will be hosting their 4th annual Cougar Outreach Telethon. All of the proceeds will benefit a 2-year-old Pullman boy, Ezra Nelson, who suffers from arthrogryposis. The fundraiser will help purchase a wheelchair and bath chair for Nelson as he quickly approaches his 3rd birthday.
Students, staff, and community members enjoyed the Well-Being Fair last night. Here's Murrow News reporter Sadie Porter for more on this story.
Are you interested in improving your overall well-being? The 8th annual Well-Being Fair was last night at the Student Recreation Center. Well-Being Assistant Director Brad Stewart says the Well-Being Fair helps all people learn new ways to improve their lives.
It's a great way to have all of the different units and departments and student groups, community partners on the Palouse come together in one place and show to the community what they do. And so this is a place where people can really find all of those different aspects of their life that maybe they've never really looked into.
WSU student Carson Floor says he just came to the rec to work out, but then he saw what was happening and couldn't resist stopping by.
So I just started getting curious with it, and I looked around, got some information on some of the classes they were offering here, got my blood pressure checked, having a look at my knee joints, so it's pretty good.
With this event, the Well-Being program hopes to create a fun, open, and safe environment so that people have the chance to explore what well-being means to them in their daily lives. Over 600 people participated in the fair last night, which is the highest attendance since they started the fair in 2006. For more information on well-being or future events, check out their website at www.wellbeing.wsu.edu. Reporting from the newsroom, I'm Sadie Porter. A Spokane boy arrested for creating a kill list of his classmates was released Friday from the Juvenile Detention Center and put into his parents' care. The 13-year-old admitted to police that he made the list and that it consisted of students he did not like at Gary Middle School. He later said it was a joke. A mental health advisor determined he is not a threat to himself or others. He has been released under the conditions that he make no contact with his former classmates and that he remains under 24-hour supervision.
Newly appointed Secretary of State John Kerry was sworn in last week. Murrow News reporter Orion Yosley has more on the story.
State your name. I, John F. Kerry, do solemnly swear.
Now a former Massachusetts senator, Secretary of State John Kerry recited the oath of office in front of a friendly crowd last week. Kerry was nominated by President Obama to succeed Hillary Clinton as Secretary of State. There was no shortage of praise for Clinton from Kerry, who said, quote, he had big heels to fill. In a Monday State Department ceremony, Kerry turned to the many diplomatic challenges he will face. Mentioning slain Libyan Ambassador Chris Stevens and the 3 other diplomats by name, he focused on the need to keep the protection of diplomats a top priority. Kerry also spoke with the leaders of both Israel and Palestine last weekend. A State Department spokesman said that Kerry told both Benjamin Netanyahu and Mahmoud Abbas that he was committed to a peaceful solution to the Middle East conflict. Kerry sailed through the congressional nomination process, with only 3 Republican senators voting against his confirmation. For the Murrow News, I'm Orion Yosley.
When we come back, we'll see if the sun will stay around for the rest of the week and what Mike Leach thought about National Signing Day. So Connor, I've really been enjoying the sun. Do you think it'll stick around?
I don't want to put my winter coat back on.
Well, I don't think you're going to have to put your winter coat back on quite yet, but it looks like the sun's going to take a little break from us. So as we head over to the weather wall, we saw today in Pullman, we saw a nice 45-degree high with winds at 14 miles an hour. We saw the sun mostly all day today. Tonight it's going to be partly cloudy with a low of 35, and we're going to see 11-mile-per-hour winds. Tomorrow we have rain and snow with a high of 37 and a low of 27. As we look at the state map, Spokane today saw 39 degrees, Pullman a 37. Towards the middle of the state, Yakima 49, and on the west side of the state, a 48 in Seattle, 45 down in Vancouver, and 44 in Olympia. As we take a look at the 5-day forecast, 37 degrees Friday and 36 Saturday. We're going to see some precipitation Sunday and Monday before getting back into the 40s Tuesday with a high of 41. And we'll head over to sports with Brandon.
Thanks, Connor. Today, college football programs across the nation revealed their recruiting classes for the upcoming season. WSU coach Mike Leach held a press conference earlier today expressing his happiness with the Cougars recruiting class.
So I think it went well, and I think the efforts of our staff were key to that. And I also think, as I mentioned before, I think the atmosphere that exists with our players and our team and their efforts, to create a great environment here for the recruits, I think was instrumental too.
That's it for sports. When we come back, we'll take a look at events from around the world.
News is being made all over the world. We will now take you to Alex Hovde for a look at what is going on around the globe.
Severe military budget cuts may be threatening the United States. Defense Secretary Leon Panetta spoke earlier today at Georgetown University about this issue. Panetta says workers' unpaid leaves of absence, reduced combat readiness, decreased naval operations, and cuts to Air Force flying time and weapons maintenance are just a few consequences the United States could face. These automatic spending cuts could mean up to $500 billion in cuts over 10 years for the Pentagon, and nearly $50 billion this year alone. Panetta says this would be, quote, the most serious readiness crisis faced by the armed services in over a decade. These cuts will take effect March 1st unless Congress takes some sort of action. In international news, 5 people were killed earlier today in a tsunami triggered by an earthquake off the coast of the Solomon Islands. The earthquake measured at an 8.0 magnitude. World Vision Program Director Andrew Catford says their staff in Tuamotu felt the quake, and within 5 minutes there were multiple wave surges. The strong waves appear to have caused damage to the local airport and nearby villages. All tsunami watches and warnings have been canceled at this time. In Acapulco, Mexico, 6 female Spanish tourists were allegedly raped early Monday morning by hooded gunmen. Mexican officials say 7 men were also tied up with cell phone cables and bikini straps during the assaults. Attorney General Martha Garzon says the gunmen spared one woman because of her Mexican nationality. Investigators say the gunmen also stole cell phones, iPads, and shoes from the victims.
Authorities say 7 men.
And that's all the news we have for you tonight.
Tune in every weeknight at 7 and 10 o'clock. Have a good night.